There are so many habits that we know are spoiling our lives, but we just can't stop doing it. For me, it's scrolling way past my bedtime and not even realizing it, waking up late and not knowing how to really start the day, or sometimes even getting tempted to have unhealthy snacks. I'm sure it happens with most of us, but we keep forgiving ourselves, saying that it's fine, we'll start from next Monday. And even before we know it, it has now become a bad habit. So I have recently started a 6-month challenge for myself, and I've identified small and impactful habits that are really helping me along the way. In case you are wondering what I'm talking about, feel free to click on the card and go to the 6-month challenge video to get a better idea. But today I'm sharing 7 micro habits that I have thought for myself, and I'm really sure that it'll work for you as well, which will really change your life around in small but meaningful ways. Also, you must keep in mind that large changes or large results don't really come from really high inputs. It's about consistent small changes over a long period of time. These are small, manageable changes that anyone can implement today. The first habit is to have one ritual in the morning to set the tone of the day. The mood that we are in, specifically in the morning, impacts the rest of the day significantly. It makes a huge difference to the goal of the day. For example, if I wake up and I spend a lot of time just walking around, looking out of the window, not really sure how I want to start the day, it begins in a very confusing and demotivated manner. But once I get up, I know these are the quick 1, 2, 3, 4 things to do, then it becomes really super easy to make the flow of the day better. So to give you an example, because I am trying to be healthy and active these days, the first thing that I do is wake up and make a glass of warm water for myself, in which I add ginger, jeera, saffron, etc., etc. And that is a warm water sort of ritual of the day for me. So I know that whenever I wake up and I do this, the tone of the day is set for me, that I am going to strive towards being healthy and active. Another thing that I do is, while I'm sipping the warm water, I sit at my dining table, really calm, quiet. I don't turn on music or I don't scroll through social media. Just 5-6 minutes of just sitting quietly, contemplating, thinking about what I want to do today, or maybe thinking on an overall level what is happening in my life. Just giving myself that 5-10 minutes of peace to sort of get going and be active throughout the day. You don't need to copy this ritual, but look inside yourself and sort of find what is that goal you want to achieve in the next few weeks, and probably accordingly tailor your morning ritual. It could be as simple as just making your bed, doing 10 push-ups, going say for a walk downstairs, or writing down one thing that you are grateful for. But the key, like all habits, is that you have to be consistent and pick up something very simple and doable, in which you don't have to even think twice. Very simple, that's something that comes naturally to you, and get going. The second habit is to just make a quick 2-minute plan before sleeping every night. So think through about what your goals are for the next day. Sit down and write it on a piece of paper. I like actually writing it down on paper. So just take out maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes and write down the top 3 things that you want to achieve the next day. Don't overclutter. I feel that quality should triumph quantity. So don't put too many things on your to-do list. Just pick on the most important things for the day. I think this really helps you to wake up and have a priority for that particular day, instead of you running around without feeling a sense of direction. And these 2 minutes actually save me a lot of decision making time for the next day. So for example, if say I write a script for a video and then I want to shoot it the next day, so I know for sure that okay, between say 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. is when I am going to shoot. So everything preceding and everything after can be taken care of, but this particular slot is going to be for my shooting, and I have a flow of the day ready for me. So in the morning, our willpower is low and so is our decision making. So essentially what this helps is that you don't need to pressurize your mind into taking a call in the morning. It's already done. So it's going to save you quite some time, at least 15-16 minutes of decision making. The third habit is to take 10 minutes break from your desk every 1.5 hours. I know a lot of you must be thinking, oh, we have so much work, we can't keep track of time, etc., etc. But But all of these excuses will vanish once you start getting backache, a lot of body pains, etc., etc., if you are a few months even into corporate. So whether you're freelance, corporate, any sort of sector where you have to sit and work for long hours, you might be super dedicated and you want to sit at the desk for say 14-15 hours, take only with a lunch break in between. You might be doing that initially out of enthusiasm, but in the long run this is extremely horrific. It's going to have severe impact on your health. So my suggestion is that to make sure that you set an alarm for every 1.5 hours. Just get up and take a stroll. If you are working in a high-rise building, take the lift down, walk a little bit and come up again. If you're working from home, just get out of your study room and take a walk in the hall. If you're in a house and you don't want to go out, take the stairs up and down, anything but just get moving. So this movement essentially gets your blood flowing. It gives your eyes a break from the screen, and it often leads to that aha moment that you don't get when you're at something for a very long time. If you take a break, you can see things from a different perspective. So give this a try. The fourth habit is to plan your meals well before. I'm not saying that you should prep 1 week in advance or put it into dabbas and keep it in the fridge. All of that is too much work, but at least give it a thought 1 day prior. So somebody like me who's planning to lose weight, it's very critical for me to make sure that all my meals well thought, and it doesn't take too much time, just 10 minutes of writing it down, because I already have a diet chart. It may not exactly match with that, but at least I know, okay, I need the veggies, I am going to have say makhana at 4 p.m, etc., etc. So there's no gap in planning. What essentially happens is that when you're super hungry and you don't know what you're going to eat, you're going to eventually reach out for all the unhealthy food that is there in the house. Like the first thing is that you should not keep chocolates at home, because that's the first thing you're going to reach for. But of course, most of us live with our spouses or families, and they obviously will have preferences. Can't stop them from having what they like. So essentially, you have to keep yourself under control, and I feel meal planning is the best way to do it. Of course, even if you're not planning to lose weight, just to be healthy and remain at status quo, you need to make sure that your meal are well balanced and planned. So this is a definitely 10 on 10 sort of recommendation. So what I do is that I spend 10 minutes just writing down what I will have for breakfast, lunch, dinner, mid-morning, mid-afternoon, and pre-bedtime. But it's not too difficult. I just put in what I'm going to have for say protein, for veggies, for my staple, and I think that's more or less sorted. And when you're well prepared, honestly, it's going to save you some money as well, because you won't end up ordering from restaurants on Swiggy or Zomato, and in the long run, even if you do this for a month, you'll realize how much money you're going to save. I think all of us are motivated by money. So if you see your savings also coming through with this habit, I'm sure you'll be hooked to it. The fifth habit is being hydrated. Have sufficient water with a bottle having measuring indicators. Dehydration is one of the common causes of fatigue, headache, and poor concentration. I got a water bottle that shows measurements on its sides, and it's 2 liters. So what I aim to do is to complete 2 bottles in the entire day. So that's 4 liters of water, which is honestly perfect for me. It's a visual reminder of when and how much I need to drink and how much I have already accomplished. So whenever I see my bottle is half full and it's say closer to evening, I know that I've not had water that day, and I try to compensate. May not be the greatest thing to do towards the evening, but it keeps me on track. I know for sure when I'm lagging or when I'm doing better. And this keeps me full between meals. So if I'm working in between meals, I have a tendency of snacking or sipping something. Water keeps me full, in turn making me healthy. If plain water is boring, just add a slice of lemon, orange, anything that you would prefer, or maybe you can even make lemonade for yourself. Ginger water, saffron water, any sort of non-caffeinated tea, anything that will keep you hydrated, and just go for it. When your hydration becomes automatic, you'll feel that glow in your skin, you'll feel more energized, and I think an overall sense of well-being also elevates. The sixth habit is read 5 pages a day. I think with a lot of technology, social media, we're also addicted with scrolling that we have lost track of our reading habits. Even if you read 5 pages a day, that will help you put away your screen, focus on something that does not radiate light on its own but reflects light. So read at least 5 to 6 pages. Mathematically, you might say only achieve 6 to 7 books in a year, which is also good. If you're somebody who doesn't read at all or have lost touch with reading, 5-6 pages a day is more than enough. I keep my particular book on my nightstand, and this is a very good way of winding down for the day. I think reading the book has been the best thing for me. Took me back to my childhood days and really helps me relax as well. But the trick is to choose the right book. A lot of us are not interested in non-fiction. In that case, go for fiction. If you want, take up a children's book as well. Take up anything like Enid Blyton book, say Secret 7, Famous 5. You could take up anything in the world, but it should be interesting to you. I suggest if you're somebody who's not into reading, don't take up non-fiction because they tend to be very boring, and you really need to be interested in the subject. So I'm somebody who loves to read non-fiction, so it's okay for me. But for beginners, do not do that. I suggest take up something interesting. Could be Harry Potter, anything, but do take up a book. So the goal isn't to be a speed reader, but it's to be consistent. You should be taking it up every day. The last and the 7th habit is to read one news article every day. In our busy lives, it's very easy to get disconnected from what is happening in the world around us because we're so consumed by our everyday chaos. I choose one reliable news source and read one article. It doesn't have to be heavy political news. It could be about science, technology, culture, local events, anything that you really like, but read one topic. That will make you super interesting, and you will get a new facet to your personality as well. If you're having a conversation with somebody, if you have followed that one particular topic or genre, you know that you will be able to give references, talk about it, educate the other person in front of you, and it's a great conversation starter. I think this habit has made me a little bit more interesting as a person if I were to speak to anybody. I do not follow a particular genre, but I look at more or less the business news. So I would say 60-70% there on the consistency bit, but I definitely have to improve. These 7 micro habits seem really small and insignificant, but their compound effect is powerful. I really feel more energized, focused, and truly in control of my daily routine. And the best part, each habit literally takes less than 10 minutes to implement. I think it's important to remember that the goal is not perfection, it's progress. The best way to start is to start with 1 or 2 habits that really resonate with you and you would enjoy doing them. And then you can add on the other habits week by week, which is also what James Clear says in Atomic Habits, that do not start with everything together. Start stacking one habit on top of another. Small changes consistently applied create remarkable transformations. Tell me in the comments which of these habits will you implement first. Do check out my 6-month challenge video for a deeper dive into what transformations I am going through. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.